It's now 5:30, and this is WKYT This Morning. A woman will face a judge for the first time after being indicted for the murder of her ex-boyfriend. We'll have the details on that case just ahead this morning.
The highest-ranking Republican in the U.S. Senate and Kentuckian Mitch McConnell took the stage last night at the Republican National Convention. What he had to say coming up.
Also ahead this morning, the bourbon industry is booming, creating a ripple effect in Kentucky's economy. That story and more on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. It's your Wednesday, July 20th. Glad you're on WKYT This Morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith, and it certainly feels like July.
It feels like we're right in the middle of summer, no doubt about it. Steamy situation out there again today, and that continues. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, the morning hours aren't too bad, but you get into that afternoon, the hottest part of your day, and boy, does it get sticky pretty quickly. We're there in the lower 70s for most locations early this morning. We get into your afternoon, we'll be right around 90 degrees. Now, this isn't scorching heat. You got to remember normal temperatures are still in the upper 80s, so we're not too far from average, but it's still pretty warm. I mean, there's no getting around that. Here's the deal, though. We are going to be dry. That's fantastic for today and the next few days. Pretty much stay that way. When does the rain return? When do the storms return? We're going to get into that, and I'll show you how high we go with those heat index values, the feel-like temperatures, because we're talking about triple digits possible as we get closer toward the weekend. I'll get into that in just a few minutes.
And that'll get your attention. We'll have that in just a bit. Thank you, Micah. In the news today, a woman accused of shooting her ex-boyfriend to death will be appearing before a Powell County judge.
Yesterday, a grand jury indicted Roberts for murder, and police arrested her, but Roberts claims she acted in self-defense. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk with more on the case against Roberts.
Good morning, Rebecca. In a jailhouse interview, Melissa Roberts is explaining for the first time why she shot and killed her boyfriend.
I didn't tell him no, I didn't defy him because I knew what would happen if I did.
What would happen?
I would get hurt.
The 33-year-old says Stephen Strange was abusive, so when he came to her house and confronted her 2 months ago, she shot him. Court records show Roberts had an emergency protective order against Strange. Since Roberts claims she killed him in self-defense, police did not charge her and let a grand jury decide if there was enough evidence against her to file charges. Yesterday, that jury indicted Robert on murder, so state police arrested her. While investigators are not releasing any details that would explain why she's now charged with murder, Strange's family says they were told he never hurt Roberts.
I know that they had a very difficult relationship and everything, but I mean, I knew Stephen loved her very much, and as far as I know, she loved him too.
I didn't mean to. I didn't want him to die. I just wanted him to stop.
Roberts will stand before a Powell County judge for the first time at 10 o'clock this morning. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you, and we'll be following up on the story. Well, it is official. Donald Trump and Indiana Governor Mike Pence are now the Republican nominees. Trump received the votes he needed during a roll call of the states at the Republican National Convention. Governor Matt Bevin spoke on behalf of Kentucky's GOP delegation.
It is our honor to cast our vote 7 for Governor Kasich, 7 for Senator Rubio, 15 for Senator Cruz, and 17 for the next President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
Today will be day 3 of the Republican National Convention, a day expected to focus on making America first again. But as Weijia Jiang reports from Cleveland, last night was supposed to hinge on the economy, and many of the speakers used their addresses to attack Hillary Clinton.
Congratulations, Dad, we love you!
The second day of the RNC proved to be a family affair. After Donald Trump was formally named the GOP's presidential nominee, 2 of his children addressed the convention during primetime.
He's always helped me be the best version of myself.
I know that when people tell him it can't be done, that guarantees that he gets it done.
Trump's rival turned ally Chris Christie electrified the crowd with his so-called indictment of Hillary Clinton.
For risking America's secrets to keep her own and lying to cover it all up.
Clinton fired back at Christie over Twitter, writing, "If you think Chris Christie can lecture anyone on ethics, we have a bridge to sell you." Then the war of words continued immediately after Christie's speech.
If Hillary Clinton wants to take me on, I'm happy to take her on every day between now and the end of the campaign.
The biggest speech of the convention tonight will come from Indiana Governor Mike Pence, who officially became Trump's running mate yesterday. California Delegate Marilyn Barkey is looking forward to his address.
I look forward to hearing what they'll do together and how they'll put America first.
Pastor Darrell Scott will also speak today.
I'm going to speak from my heart concerning the Mr. Trump that I know.
Ivanka Trump will introduce her father tomorrow on the final night of the convention. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Cleveland.
And Kentucky State Senate President Robert Stivers was at the convention for the first time as a delegate for Kentucky. Stivers says his takeaway from the convention is that the Republican Party is unified and that Donald Trump has a good chance of being the next president.
Well, my message in Eastern Kentucky is that Donald Trump is the person who can best deal with the problems we have. I come from a coal-producing section. We've lost thousands of jobs in that area, and Hillary Clinton is nothing more to us than an extension of what the Obama administration has been.
And State Senator Ralph Alvarado, Jr., he, of course, a physician from Winchester, will be speaking at the convention tonight. Well, the highest-ranking Republican in the U.S. Senate took the stage last night. Michelle Chamberlain is at our alert desk with the details on that Kentuckian.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is blaming what he calls Clinton Democrats for a Senate standoff that's blocked President Obama's request for money to fight the Zika virus. The Kentucky lawmaker spoke last night at the Republican National Convention in Cleveland.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I've been around a while, and I've been around the Clintons more than anybody should ever have to be. A couple of years ago, Bill and Hillary camped out in my state telling anyone who'd listen why they ought to vote against me. Tonight, I'm here to return the favor.
Congress is now in a 7-week recess and left Washington without acting on the Zika money. Democrats objected to a GOP proposal that would block Planned Parenthood clinics in Puerto Rico from getting money to fight the virus. McConnell says he wonders what Democrats, quote, think public service is about. He says the presidential election will answer this basic question: who is looking out for us? Rebecca?
Thanks, Michelle. New this morning, writer and director Gary Marshall has died at the age of 81. Marshall's TV hits included Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley. He also had box office successes with Pretty Woman and Runaway Bride. A spokesperson says Marshall died of complications from pneumonia after having a stroke. He passed away yesterday at a hospital near Los Angeles. Marshall began his entertainment career in the 1960s, selling jokes to comedians before moving to writing sketches for The Tonight Show. Well, former Congressman Ben Chandler has been named president and CEO of the Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky. The nonpartisan group seeks to address health care needs by developing and influencing health policy and improving access to care. Chandler, a Democrat who represented Kentucky's 6th congressional district from 2004 to 2013, also served terms as Attorney General and Auditor in Kentucky.
Well, a phone scam involving callers claiming that they are collecting money for families of fallen officers is making its way around southern Kentucky. The caller says they are with an American police academy, and they claim the money is for families of murdered police officers. Somerset police say it's tough to know how reputable the agency is.
Citizens in the area are receiving phone calls from an American police academy. We've been unable to verify that as a legitimate police training agency. As far as we know, it's not in Kentucky and nowhere else that we can find.
Police say if you are willing to give money, find a reputable charity and don't wait on someone to call you.
New this morning, a Lexington man is in jail accused of impersonating a lawyer. Police say when a woman suspected of shoplifting from the Bryan Station Road Kroger was questioned, she asked if her attorney could be present. Police say James Gormley III showed up at the store and acted as if he was her attorney. But police say Gormley is not a licensed attorney in Kentucky. He's charged now with unauthorized practice of law. A traffic update for you this morning right here in Lexington. The inbound right lane of Nicholasville Road at Man o' War will be closed until about 7 this morning for overnight road work. The closure is necessary for Columbia Gas to relocate a gas line in preparation for construction at the summit. It will be closed again tonight and tomorrow night at 9. The road is scheduled to reopen tomorrow morning and Friday morning also at 7.
All right, a major project out there in the south end of Lexington. All right, you would normally find footballs at Commonwealth Stadium, but today Pokeballs will be taking over. For a couple of hours, UK will open up the stadium for Pokemon Go players to come in and find as many Pokemon as they can. UK Associate Athletic Director Nathan Swak says he started playing the game with his 7-year-old. He says other places have opened up their stadiums for Pokemon hunting, and now UK is inviting folks to play on the field at Commonwealth Stadium.
It's an opportunity to get out and see some other members of the Big Blue Nation and just have a little fun and get a unique view of the stadium and enjoy the summer.
The stadium will be open from 4:30 until 6:30 this afternoon. You just have to park in the red lot and go in through gate 9. That should be something to see.
Yeah, I would say so.
We'll have coverage of that on WKYT News this afternoon. Well, cocktails are gaining in popularity, and with that, Kentucky is in the middle of the bourbon boom.
Yeah, the resurgence of cocktails had led to a 315% spike in Kentucky bourbon production since 1999, but the industry is struggling to keep up, which is why many distilleries are expanding. Buffalo Trace expects to double its capacity within the next 8 years, and Woodford Reserve just finished a large expansion project. But whiskeys need a few years to age, of course, and many distilleries didn't anticipate today's demand. The Buffalo Trace Distillery is suffering from a shortage. Freddie Johnson says the company's high-end brands like Pappy Van Winkle need about 20 more years to age.
Bourbons that we're enjoying today were the bourbons made a generation before.
Due to the shortage of Pappy, online liquor stores are now reselling bottles for 10 times the retail value. But the bourbon boom isn't just helping distilleries. It's created an economic ripple effect in Kentucky. Tourism is up as more people are visiting Kentucky's famous Bourbon Trail.
And farmers have more than doubled their growth of corn and rye, which are used in bourbons. What a futures market as we speak of. Can you imagine? You really would have had to have anticipated this back in 1996.
Oh, is that right?
Well, I mean, if it's 20 years, it takes it to age, right?
Yeah,
You'd had to have been that far back.
Talk about forward thinking.
Yeah,
right?
So it's
liquid gold.
Yeah, so anybody who was thinking that far ahead, hats off to you. Time this morning is 5:43, and let's check live drive traffic this morning and see what is going on out there. Here's a look at the region, our traffic map showing mostly clear. We have no reports of any troubles on the interstates. Nicholasville Road, US 27 is running fine this morning as well.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good out there. Here's a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's Drive cam. Broadway and High looking good out there.
Right there downtown looks good, and there is more news coming up on WKYT on your Wednesday morning.
Captain America walking across the country to raise money for veterans. More on that when we come back.
Temperatures start to soar, but what about the humidity? That's the key here in July off into August. We're going to talk about that and also show you if you have any rain chances in the forecast. It's coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
73 degrees right now in Frankfort, and you go to Lexington with that full moon all across the area. It is brightening up the morning sky. I promise you that. It actually looks really nice as you walk out the door. Temperatures are there in the 70s. Now, here's the deal. We get into your afternoon. Afternoon is going to be hot and humid, right around 90 degrees. No problems whatsoever. I will tell you this, now through Friday, we cannot rule out a stray cell or two, and I literally mean a stray cell or two popping up toward the afternoon. That's it. So most of us are going to stay dry. Virtually all of us are going to stay dry today, tomorrow, and off towards your Friday. But really the focus of the forecast is the heat and humidity. Watch this as we get in toward your afternoons on Friday and Saturday, because Friday and Saturday are going to be your hottest days in the forecast. A lot of moisture streaming our direction and much warmer temperatures too. 101 showing up. Remember, this is your feels like temperature. That's your heat index value. That's the way when you walk out your front door and you go, it doesn't feel that good. Yeah, that's this type of temperature, okay? So 101 in Frankfort, 99 showing up. It's going to be anywhere from 95 to 103 degrees on Friday and Saturday. Saturday actually gets a little bit worse, especially if you do not have rain around. There is a little better chance of rain on Saturday. We're talking 30–40%, so definitely no washout. But look at that showing up at Georgetown and also Frankfort, 102, 105 in northern Kentucky. So it just shows you these 101s, 102s, a little bit higher than that. They will be around as we get toward Friday, off towards your weekend. It's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, and that's going to be the case the next several days. That not only takes you through your weekend, but it also takes you off into next week too, as we'll be anywhere from 87 to about 93 degrees all the way through next week. So it is about the heat and humidity, but I promise you this. Here's what I can guarantee you. If you are in a pool, in a lake, in a river, I think you'll be good to go. And I'm actually a little jealous if you're going to be in there. So, yeah, it's just one of those, you just got to stay cool. You got to take in a lot of water because, like Rebecca was talking about earlier this morning, you get into one of those afternoons, it gets sticky pretty quickly. Oh. Very humid.
Well, you can go to most of those places for free, so just go.
That's true. That's true. Even if it's my neighbor's pool.
Yeah, not the pool.
As long as they don't know, you know. There you go.
Yes, exactly. 5:49 on WKYT this morning.
Well, a superhero is saving the day by spreading awareness for veterans across the country.
Captain America made a pit stop along I-35 in Oklahoma City yesterday. This Captain America's real name is Alan Mullins, and he's been donning that mask since 2009 to help raise money for different veterans groups. He says it's all about finding people who need help and then getting them the help they need. Mullins says he is currently walking for a native tribe out of Oregon and has been doing that for a year. His next stop is Muskogee, Oklahoma. All right.
Maybe he'll meet an Okie from Muskogee.
I was going to say, Q. Merle Haggard, right?
Yeah. Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
And we'll be checking traffic again. We have some health news for you. Our top stories are on the way. It's so good to have you with us bright and early on WKYT.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. Beautiful start to the day out there.
Gorgeous.
Full moon out there that you can go check out. And, I guess at the moment we're beginning to get some local daylight. So that's
see the sun, hopefully.
You got it. You
not
got
the
it.
moon. Let's take a look right now. Some of the stories are working up for you at this hour.
Well, today a woman accused of murdering her ex-boyfriend is going to be appearing before a Powell County judge. Police say Melissa Roberts shot Stephen Strange to death 3 months ago. Yesterday, a grand jury indicted Roberts and police arrested her. The Roberts claim she shot in self-defense.
Lexington police investigating after an overnight robbery at the Marathon gas station on North Broadway. They say the robber looked like a normal customer picking up some beer. But when he walked up to the counter, he pulled a knife on the clerk and stole some cash. Police say a canine tracked him to a motel near the gas station and ultimately could not find him.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell spoke at the Republican National Convention last night, and during his speech, he blamed what he calls Clinton Democrats for a Senate standoff that has blocked President Obama's request for money to fight the Zika virus. The Kentucky lawmaker says this year's presidential election will answer who is looking out for us.
Donald Trump is officially the Republican Party's presidential nominee.
The development came yesterday on the second day of the Republican National Convention, where speakers, including Trump's son and New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, took turns bashing Democrat Hillary Clinton. GOP vice presidential nominee Mike Pence, as well as Marco Rubio, will be addressing the crowd tonight. So will Ted Cruz and Kentucky State Senator Ralph Alvarado at the convention this evening.
Well, the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee is weighing on the RNC. Campaigning in Las Vegas yesterday, Clinton said day one of the convention reminded her of the Wizard of Oz, with lots of sound and fury, but nothing new from Trump. The former Secretary of State also fired back at Governor Christie over Twitter, reminding people of his Bridgegate scandal. And now for today's top health stories. A study in the Netherlands finds women who undergo in vitro fertilization do not have a higher risk of breast cancer.
IVF procedures temporarily affect hormone levels, but researchers say the breast cancer risk is not any greater. The American Cancer Society is endorsing the CDC's recommendation that doctors vaccinate boys against certain types of human papilloma virus, or HPV. The vaccine was originally recommended only for girls. HPV can cause genital, mouth, throat, and other cancers.
Let's get a check right now on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live direct traffic.
See what's going on out there as far as the current travel times. It's a good ride in. Everything moving fine this morning. Everybody just about normal speed. No reports of any troubles. Here's a look at the Lexington-Fayette Urban County Government live drive cam. This is Broadway and High Street in downtown Lexington this morning. And as you can see, it would be a good time to sneak on in there this morning because things are quiet. We have no reports of any early issues. And the project over at the Summit, where they've been doing the gas line work there at Nicholsville Road at Manowar, at 7 o'clock they plan to stop for the night. Then they go back at it tonight and tomorrow night. So yeah, heads up on that.
Good to know. And let's get a look at weather right now with Micah.
Yeah, the cool news is when you walk out the door, you probably more than likely, if you don't have any lamps around, any of those street lamps, you won't need to use your phone to actually light up the ground so you can see where you're walking. The full moon, yeah, everybody's with that. The full moon early this morning is just brightening up the morning sky. It actually looks pretty good as you walk out the door. Temperatures are there in the 70s this morning, 90s by the afternoon, and it gets even warmer as we head throughout your work week. We'll get into that coming up